Welcome to Pesto Comics Audio Edition for April 15th, 2024. Il Pescatore, a personal story. A tribute to my grandparents in the latest TO Comics anthology, The City We Chose. First, some news. We have a launch date. Crazy Latte Thing Called Love will be launching on Kickstarter Wednesday, May 15th at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. If you haven't followed the campaign yet, please do. We have early bird deals for both physical and digital copies until the end of Friday, May 17th, ending just a minute before midnight. Again, Eastern Daylight Time. How a Kickstarter launches really makes a difference for the algorithm, so your early support is vital for the project's success. More importantly, getting in early will save you money and get us closer to funding, and even get you more for your dollar by hitting some great stretch goals. So please give it a follow if you haven't already, and if you already have, share it with your friends. This ship travels overseas. In some international news, I'll be exhibiting at Thought Bubble in Harrogate, England in November. I've made a few really cool friends online from around those parts, so it'll be a lot of fun to meet them all in person. Plus, we'll have a couple new projects ready for that time. See the release calendar in the post for more. Lost and found. A quick update from last week. I found my expo pass. They say it's in the last place you look, but actually it's in the last place I left it. It's the bag I took to Fan Expo. It's a shame I didn't get to go, but it definitely saved me some money going through those back issues. And now, let's get into it. Who Chose Who? Launching on April 17th, TO Comics Press has a new anthology called The City We Chose. I've been a fan of Toronto comics anthologies since the first edition in 2014. Seeing stories told in my city, and not in the Marvel way with an odd panel or a nod, but actually about the city, was something I haven't really seen before this. Getting accepted to be a part of this anthology has really meant a lot to me. For my entry, I submitted a personal story called Il Pescatore. It translates to The Fisherman. The story is about my grandparents, at least kind of about them. Not a true-to-life account. It's dramatized and condensed quite a bit, but the main idea is there, though even their names are different. Who is Il Pescatore? My grandfather Fausto came as an immigrant from Roseto degli Abruzzi in Italy in the 1960s. He was the last of his family to come over, doing so by plane rather than by boat, along with his wife, Splendora, my grandmother, and his 5 children, one of which obviously includes my mother. Though I never heard the story directly from him, I heard through my mother, aunts, and uncles that he was told of a better life in Canada, leaving the beaches of the Adriatic to the cold streets of Caledonia and St. Clair in Toronto. He could be both stern and loving, like most men of his generation. I was fortunate for getting the most time with him out of the extended family of grandchildren, as he and my grandmother helped raise my brothers and I, along with my mother. Being older now, I can see how I took that for granted, but there was always a language barrier as he never learned English. Though that didn't stop him from making friends with all of our neighbors. He was a healthy man right up until he was 80 when pancreatic cancer struck, and struck fast. My grandmother, having already passed, had health scares throughout her senior years, but my grandfather could keep up with the teenagers in the family. Needless to say, it was a shock. I didn't handle it well at the time. I let my feelings about silly things get in the way of what should have been some really meaningful moments. It's one of the last lessons he taught me, even if it was indirectly. This entry into the anthology is just a comic at the end of the day, but I hope it serves as an appreciation for what he and the entire family sacrificed so we could have a better life in Canada. We're all in this together. Working in this anthology was something new for me. Crowdfunding my own comics, I'm used to picking my own collaborators. I have my hands on every aspect of the project from beginning to end. I know what the end goal is, and though the artists I work with put their own spin on things, I can see it all coming together. This was different. I was paired with an editor, Kavita, and was able to pick Marzia Migliori as the artist. Marzia has a Disney-esque style that I felt was perfect for the story. Her samples showed that she could really get emotion to come through in every panel, even without dialogue. Stephen Andrews and Emily Stewart have been steering the big ship, and I'm looking forward to seeing it all coming together. But I had more help from an unexpected and very reliable source, the assist from a legend. Once my pitch got accepted by TO Comics Press, I was quick to write the script, but I knew something was missing. Fortunately, I'm part of the Black Jacket Club. If you're unfamiliar, it's Scott Snyder's writing class that he runs through his Substack, Our Best Jacket. With the Black Jacket Club level, you get 5 minutes with Scott whenever he's available, which is rarely, but those 5 minutes are huge in making the story what it is. A few moments talking it through with Scott really managed to get to the heart of the story and make it something special. Something worthy of a tribute in this anthology. Growing as a creator. I have a day job, but comics is where I want to be. Crowdfunding can be a challenge in its own right, but it's not going to teach me everything. It's good to see how other creators are operating and learning from them. My path clearly isn't the only one, or even the most direct one. I'm glad to have the opportunity to be part of such a cool project. It's not the last time I'll be stretching beyond my comfort zone either. In fact, I have a project that falls outside of what you might expect from me entirely, something that was inspired by this whole endeavor. But we'll chat more about that in the next entry. Until then, be sure to check out the city we chose on Kickstarter in a couple days, April 17th, and let me know if you do. I'd love to know what you think. And thanks to all the collaborators on this project for teaching me and helping me grow. What's next? May 1st. Welcome to convention season. A story for getting in the side door of a favorite con. Plus, news about BSP number 1. And May 15th. Have yourself a crazy latte. Launching Crazy Latte Thing Called Love on Kickstarter. Plus, 2 cons in 2 weeks. Once again, as always, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you subscribe to the Substack, I appreciate you for doing that. And if you don't, please do. It's free. I have no intention of charging for this Substack. It's just a newsletter. It comes out twice a month, every 1st and 15th, much like this podcast. So if you like what you're hearing, check out the visuals, check out what's on there, and feel free to keep listening too. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you in May.